So the 2023-24 game season has finally come to an end. And unfortunately, mine came to a bit of an abrupt end last week when I managed to rupture the muscle in my right leg. So to cheer myself up, we're going to put together a video this week of all the places that we have been and shot, because my God, it has been one incredible season. I feel really, really lucky to have gone to the places that we have been this year. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. We started the season off down south at Pheasant Badgers on some driven partridges in early September. So this was my first proper game shooting video, and also my first proper game shooting video for B&P. So we headed down there with the 30g6 green cores, and this was my entry into this cartridge range, and my God, it didn't disappoint, as you guys will see from the video. So this next one has quite possibly got to be my favourite day from last season, and we headed up to the North Pennines with Morton Sporting on a double gun day on the Grouse in the back end of November. This was the most phenomenal day shooting I have ever been on. I've shot a bit of grouse before in the past, but nothing got me prepared for this day out. It was phenomenal. And I headed up there with those beautiful pair of MK60s, which didn't hang around for very long at all. And I paired them up with some 30g6 fibre. And I'd go as far as saying with these, I couldn't even tell the difference between these and the green core wads. They were absolutely spectacular. So let's have a look at this one, guys. So we next headed up into the far end of Scarborough to take on Highdown. Now this was a relatively new shoot taken on by Alex Chu, who also runs Wortley. They very kindly asked me to go up there and do a video for them. And again, I was absolutely blown away by not just the shooting, the amount of birds, but also the hospitality. It was a fantastic all-round day. And I went up there with B&P's 32g5 in fibres with my trusty old Caesar, and it was just a spectacular day. I really was on that day out of my depth, but they showed some fantastic, fantastic birds. So we next headed out to our local syndicate that both Dad and I are part of with my beautiful Roy Martin 20 bore to try out some of the B&P 28g5 20 bore. Unfortunately, I haven't got any because they have sold like absolute hotcakes, and there's a reason for that, because they are an awesome little cartridge. Now for me, this day was all about spending time with family and friends. Unfortunately, Dad wasn't able to be there, which was really gutting because I was looking forward to having him on the peg with me. But we got to spend the day with a team that we've been a part of for 2 or 3 years, and I can promise you there was definitely some ribbing all day long. So we next headed over to Shropshire to film what was my highest viewed game shooting video with the guys from Cambrian Birds at Kinnerton Sporting Club on some incredible ducks. So I went out there with some of the dual 36 gram steel, again with my trusty Caesar Guerini and some Teague chokes. And I mean, I was absolutely blown away by what B&P steel could do. It was phenomenal. Even my lovely camera lady, who's behind the camera at the moment, managed to pull down one absolutely stratospheric bird on the third drive. And that absolutely made my day. And again, this has got to be one of my favourite days. We had a couple of friends there shooting. It was just everything about the day, the hosting, the hospitality, the shooting, the organisation, and the team of guns just made this day for me. So we next headed out to the infamous Diffie Falls to take on some extreme pheasants. And the worlds just aligned. The weather was perfect. The birds flew like nothing I have ever seen before. And paired up with these absolute bombs here, the 34 gram 4 B&Ps. Just the stopping power of these shells is incredible. And I mean, I go as far as saying they are probably one of the best high bird cartridges on the market. I was really outside of my skill set here, and it didn't change the day for me. To be able to take on birds of that quality at that height, just, I mean, I was lost for words, and I was buzzing for days and days and days after. So this one here, again, has got to be one of my favourite days from this season. And finally, we've finished off the season with a little day at one of our local estates, Scarcliffe Park, where I decided to take that Rossini BR110 410 for its last outing before I sent it back home. And it was a fantastic little day with a group of lads locally that I don't very often get to shoot with. And I just fancied another little bit of a challenge to finish the season off by taking on some January pheasants. And with those Fiocchi 19 gram sixes, it did not disappoint. I was really impressed by the kind of things that you could pull down with that tiny little gun. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody that has followed us, subscribed to the channel, watched our videos and commented on them. We've only been going for about 10 months now, and I'm really grateful for everybody that has followed us throughout our journey. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to my sponsors, B&P, who've been kind enough throughout the season to keep me topped up with these cartridges. I cannot express how awesome they are. And a lot of people, I know, will say, oh, are you going to get given them? These, honestly, are one of the best cartridges on the market at the moment. They are phenomenal. And there's a reason that they're sold out everywhere, because they are brilliant. So again, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for following us over this game season. And hopefully, in a couple of weeks, after I've had this thing repaired, we'll be back to you with some new videos. Thank you very much, guys.